was truly dumb. Yep, we're back. That was beautifully timed. Just as I was talking about stuff about video recordings and all that, and then bam, I go and do that crap. Oh well. That's why I basically have a lot of redacted information on my stickers. Alright, so we've got a 1502, which is actually the main purpose of this stream, so here we go. Yeah, I even had to go along and delete that. That was really bad. Okay, fails to boot, power meter flickers. This is 1502. This also has actually revealing information on the underside. Fuck me. Stops revealing personal information. God damn it. Fortunately, I didn't show that one, but okay, I'm just going to have to take the bottom panel off, curse a little more. You can all laugh at my incompetence. Hey Kevin S, you have a lot of older iPhones. I gotta admit, unless they're... When you say older, anything older than, say, an iPhone 8, I have got so many of those. I am actually in the same sort of position whereby I'm thinking, who the hell can I offload these to? Might just send them all to Jason Vilmer and write him a little letter and say, hi Jason, I'm your biggest fan. I love watching you and every video that you do. Each day I get up and wonder what you're fixing today. Here is a box of my most valuable iPhone 3 through to iPhone 6S phones. I hope you can give me $1,000 for everything because I truly am your greatest fan. Love, me. Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that. Holy shit, Jason's here. What the frick? How does he turn up like that? That was timing. Well done, Jason. That was timing. Oh dear. I couldn't have planned that better, even though I didn't plan it. I guess that was the point. Okay, battery's disconnected, right. We've got a bit of swelling on that inductor there. That's kind of sus. Well, there you go, Jason. I spilled the beans. Now I can't do the trick on you. So will you still give me $1,000 for the for the iPhone 6s? Yeah, Travis, it's pretty red. It's almost as red as this pink pen. 1368. Oh dear, I can't believe it. I sometimes wonder if Jason's just got my videos on background play or something like that, because he seems to have a real habit of showing up inappropriately. Okay, so what was the error? Fails to boot, power meter flickers. Okay, let's stick a chipmunk in. Oh, speaking of dumb things, the other week or so I was trying to power something with my MagSafe 1 and I just couldn't get it to work and I didn't know what the hell was going on. But the MagSafe 2 was working fine and they're joined together typically at the power supply. Anyway, I found out today that I had for some reason disconnected this from the banana connectors up the power supply, so that's why it wasn't working. Another mystery solved. Okay, Max. Oh yeah, I see. Did you see that? You watch it again. It'll flicker up and then die. Blink, blink, and then down. Okay, so we've either got a current sense issue, we've got a short circuit on a subrail, or yeah, something like that. Or something completely else. That would be quite correct, creature. That would be the very genuine technical term for it. First thing we'll do is actually disconnect everything and see if we get a better behavior as we disconnect certain portions. This is where the chipmunk's really handy because it gives you a very quick status of what's going on. So where did you go? I had to eliminate some things. Okay, let's try trackpad. That's weird. That trackpad has got a silk screen on it. Wow. It's not trackpad. By the way, Jason Vilma, Jason SDS, I did get all your messages today and I just haven't had a chance to reply. I was too busy trying to fix up holes in my eaves to stop the damn cats. Okay, let's try the keyboard. Hey Mr. I Scam You, welcome Pedro. Alright, so this is pretty much looking like it is a board issue. I've basically disconnected everything and it's still flickering. Hey Catherine, good to see you, as always. B-Blood and B-Dog. Wow, the Bs, B1 and B2 turned up at the same time. Prolux, yes, you can hear some low-level jazzy sort of stuff. It's just to stop the monotony in my office. Funnily enough though, when I'm really working, I don't tend to go for the jazz. I find it always seems to have the wrong jazz on at the wrong time. So I switch over to a couple of female synth, what do they call it? Trance, female trance stuff remix. That does the trick for me. Oh, B-Blog and B-Dog are the same person, really? That's news for me. Hey Jim, glad to see you got your shipments. Shipments have been pretty awful around here lately. To be fair, I'm not helping because I'm failing to ship out things I'm meant to ship out. I haven't really, of all the business aspects that you have to cover as a sole trader, shipping goods back out is my weak point, my big time weak point, and I really have to work on that, and I apologize to everybody. They know who they are, who I've not shipped stuff to. I am missing a latch here, I think. Oh no, it's there. Right. Got paranoid after seeing Adamant IT's video where someone had broken off the latch and took the Wi-Fi thingy away. Alright. Hey, House of Moth. Shipping's your Achilles heel as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind packing up stuff. It's just a case of doing it. And then going down to the post office or, yeah. Okay, I'm going to look for something obvious here. Maybe something like a ruptured cap. Come on. There's a little bit of a watermark over here. Okay, it's pretty pretty nondescript. It looks quite clean, which is of course very distressing. Oh, we've got the coder here. Oh god, it's the coder. How'd you go with that Mac today? I had to leave. I had a bunch of other things I had to sort out. This is the same board, by the way. This is a 4924. You can tell it's a 4924. They've got the metal shield over the memory, and also in the chassis they've got a metal shield on the daughter board there. They're the two big giveaways for me to spot that version straight up. Alright, okay, this is way out of focus. Massively too high. Because I got high. Okay, so we're not going to do any probes yet. We're just going to look around, see if we can find anything. I really should check to see what PP bus resistance is. So we've got a 2.7 gigahertz, 8 gigabyte RAM. It's like a bit of crap. Ah, there we go. That'll be it. Keyboard connector. So I was kind of on the mark heading for the keyboard, but there you go. And that is actually bug crap. Let's see, let's get the 4924 up. Dun, 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 dun. Apple 4924. Schematics. Okay, let's see, we're looking at pins from the right, 8 and 9. 8, 9. No, that doesn't make any sense, to be honest. I mean, that'd give you some dodgy keys, but it shouldn't do what it's doing. No, that's not our smoking gun. Well, the coder, you see, it isn't the easy one, because that is a lie. That's the red herring. I'm almost guaranteed that that's a red herring. But it is a foreshadowing indication that perhaps we do have more somewhere else. Hey, Peter 1466. Yeah, because that corrosion basically was only on a couple of the pins that just report back part of the keyboard press matrix. They don't really... There we go. That's more like it. Okay, so this is where the jazz goes wrong. It's getting dreary. You're dreary, mate. Yeah, so now this I would be thinking might be more along the mark. That's just up from the SMC. Bit of corrosion there. That's that diode there, Q5150. Let's see. Looks like SMC PECI. Okay, so support for your pecs. So this is SMC bra. 1V05 bra. Pop on some Slipknot. No thanks. I do know who Slipknot is, and I have heard their stuff. Oh no, the SMC's... God damn it. SMC's cactus. Alright, SMC job. God damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Stupid SMC. There, you can see the corrosion down there. I'm going to keep looking just in case there's something else. So we've got keyboard, we've got the diode, and we've got the SMC. See, coder, this is why I didn't go, ha ha ha, I have an easy job, because I know better than that. I know that these sort of faults love to lurk like that, and you go looking for the real smoking guns. Here we go. Fuck me. I don't know why it is, but when I'm on stream, for some reason this keyboard loves to actually travel down the air extractor, fume extractor, and then drop on my face. Oh man. I don't really need to be delicate with this, because I mean the SMC is dead anyway, but I like to do it as cleanly as I can. In this particular situation, I'm lucky that the corner, the adhesive as it were, is actually being very nice to me. It's just willingly jumping off. Squeaky squeaky. Alright, so yeah, the corrosion damage is on the left there. Just got some tweezers that can actually grab this thing. Chavs is going to get a punch in the head. That's alright, I've already done a couple of SMCs today. So what's another one? No biggie, right? Let's hope so. Let's hope I've actually got some 4924 SMCs. Because I have not... Oh, that is a really monstrously bad bit of corrosion there. I don't know what it got under there, but... Yep. That's some solid boogers there. I was going to clean it up initially. That's actually, that is quite a mess actually. So yeah, it's not really cleaning up nicely. It's a lot of it's staying there. So that's fine. This is what we use our 80-20 alcohol mix for. Precisely for these situations. First thing we do is get rid of the excess flux. And that is way excessive amounts of flux. We don't have shares in EMTech here, unlike Mr. Rossman. So we don't go all crazy with how much we use. Well, it's not too bad. Yeah, Creature, usually the board does survive okay on these, usually. And there are a few times where it has sat for too long and it chews it out, starts eating the traces and things like that. I suspect what probably helped here is that it probably killed the board fairly quickly because it got to the SMC straight away. and so it took out its ability to turn on and things like that. It's always more of a problem when the boards keep running for a long time. Alright, that looks good. We'll just add a tad of flux on top so that it doesn't get all gnarly from the oxidization of the atmosphere. Put that aside. Now we have to embark on the greatest journey of all. To the spare parts box and try and find ourselves an SMC. What's Jason saying? STS. Oh, Jason, I did a what did I do? I did a 7 Plus audio IC the other day. Fortunately, it wasn't an underfilled one, so I was actually able to do it without being a complete and utter failure. Unfortunately, I did try one of those easy fix grid mesh things, but I think I kind of panicked on it and I messed it up. Because I could see it was going to make life easy, and then I sort of went, wait, what am I doing? And I just panicked. Just like I'm panicking right now. I've got one 4924 there. Are you a 4924? Yes, you are. Okay, I've got one there. What about you? You look like a 4920. No, you're a 3476. Son of a gun. Right, this has made it abundantly clear to me that I actually have a distinct lack of boards that have SMCs on them anymore. I mean, entirely my fault. I've been just getting lazy. Ah, I see now. I've got another stash under here. 4924. Not 4924. 4924. Not 24. Not SMC. Not SMC. 4924. Alright. I recant my statement. I seem to have a couple. That one's a bit dodgy-ish. This one could be anything. This one's got dead CPU, so I actually am more inclined to take this one. Because at least I know what the fault is with that one, so it's less likely that I'm going to end up reballing a dead SMC. Yeah, the grid mesh thing, like I said, it's actually really nicely designed, and it sits. Wow, it's got some hairiness there. It sits around the parts around the board so that all of the, I think it's about 7 or 8 points, and it looks like a really nice thing. But I kind of stuffed it up. I don't know if that's just dust and crap or what. Anyway, so I end up having to do it manually. That's alright. It was good practice for me. And that is the point where I realized your long-held secret of how to do good iPhone work, and that was with the otherwise useless point tip for the 0.1 or 0.2 millimeter Hacko T30 point tip that no one ever thinks to use, because nobody uses those fine point tips. With the large scales, we all use chisel or knife or stuff like that. You try to use one of those pointy tip things to put solder down, it never works. But I think at the scale of the micro pencil working with the iPhones, I think at that scale it works well with the surface tension. And I think that's why it's made life just substantially easier for me to put those traces down. Yeah, I would never have thought to have used it, but I just thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to just try it. Because usually I struggle moderately with trying to pin down those connecting wires. Ah, Jason. Yes, there are other soldering tips, ones that are useful. See, most of the time with the Macbooks, we use the KN, the T30KN. I know you know they exist. I'm just speaking for the sake of other people. I gotta admit though, I probably would have liked an even finer tip on that hacker. I think you probably do many a times too. Do not tell me you're all gnarly. I reckon you might be okay. I think this is just junk that got picked up. B-Blood, I think they're more for physical... who knows, yeah, maybe you're right, maybe they are just for reflow. But usually if they're doing reflow, they do it a slightly different way. I think because the chip is on fairly large balls, they do it to add sort of physical security against slight drops. I don't know. Why do people ask me questions I don't know the answer to? Hey, Greg. One way I have got a few cats, yes. We rescue a fair few cats here. And of those rescues, a reasonable number seem to end up residing here a fair bit longer than planned. Not that we're complaining, just noting. Alright, here we go. A bit too much heat in that tip. Getting all vapey there. I think there's a bit of internal delamination going on over here. So that's probably going to be a null and void chip. Throw that one in the bin. And just wipe away some of this flux. Yeah, this one's cactus, unfortunately. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there's some like goldy sheen going on over here. And that's a damaged area. That goes straight into the rubbish bin. Bugger. This one looks like it's already had an SMC on it. Oh well, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, Arnold GI. Unfortunately can't do much about that. It is something I'm a little bit disappointed about with this camera. The sensor does not seem to it's just not as sensitive to light as I wanted. And it's a very rapid fall off. Well, thanks, Jason. You know, this is a real problem. We've got Jason's everywhere here. What am I going to call you? I should just say SDS and unofficial. We'll see how we go. This one's still got its gum lining on it, so it may have just been reflowed. Just call you Cozzy. I will try that. I cannot guarantee I'll remember to do that though. Well, this one looks alright, so we'll give it a whirl. Okay, so now I've got to wash everything to get rid of all the flux. A surefire way of making sure your SMC's reflows are a dud is to start out with too much junk around it. Hey Paul Marrow, how you been? When was the last time you were on chat, Paul? Paul Marrow? Okay, just a little dab of flux, a little dab of flux, not a lot. Wayne's World of Repairs did a first successful TriStar. Well, congratulations on that. What model phone were you doing that on? The one I hate the most, beyond the stupidly impossible ones like the SE, original SE and the 5. After that, the ones I hate the most are, funnily enough, the 6S. For some reason, the way the 6S shield is orientated, it completely annoys me. It's about the only way I can describe it. It annoys me. Whereas the 7, even though the 7 is actually even more occluded by the shield, I have a vastly superior success rate with the 7 in terms of just going along, changing the SMC and then getting out of there. I've got a board heater. Oh yeah, actually that does help a lot. Okay, on an 8. No, that's pretty cool. Doing the iPhone 5 TriStar replacement, now that was nightmarish. And sadly, a lot of us had to start on that, and that was not fun. That's when we started developing crazy techniques like use a great big chisel tip to get it off. Because it was just too much thermal damage if you tried to hot air it. Okay, so what we do here, I'm just going to turn off this for the moment. What we do here is we add IPA. I know, it sounds really silly, but you add IPA, you pour it all out. You kind of want to go slightly excess on what you need because it's easier to wipe off what you don't than it is to add extras. Okay, that should about You've probably got one over there that, yep, you're in like Tronflin. Okay, and then those ones down there, they get used in the future. There's a bit of a, I think it was a little hair there or something. Just walk that out like a bouncer to a rowdy, drunken person in the club. Okay, so they were all set in. That was nice and easy, very easy to load it up like that. By the way, Coder, Phil, if you're still here, that's what I'm talking about with regards to, we were talking about, I was trying to get you to try IPA to load up the balls for your stencil. That's basically how I was referring. But it doesn't always work, depending on your stencil type and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to go 250. 60% air is a little bit much, so I'm just going to drop that to about 50. And by the way, STS, I have learned to work with very low temperatures like 250 and whatnot. Whereas before I'd always be punching out at 400, 380, stuff like that. I do still use pretty decent temperatures for getting things like the audio IC off iPhone 7s and things like that, because I think that my personal view is if you languish too long with low temperatures, there's too much migration of heat into the baseband. Alright, so what we're doing here is, we're deforming everything, but I really want the SMC to get hot. Or hotter. And being at 250, it's going to take a bit longer. And that stencil is actually slightly bent, which is a bugger. But oh well. Anyway, okay, so now it's probably about the right temperature. Just put a elephant trunk of flux in there. Okay, that should do. That's actually a bit much. Then come back, and I'm just going to turn on the extractor now. So what this does is, by being sufficiently hot, it keeps the flux, it makes the flux have a much lower viscosity, and so it doesn't pool up so much that when it heats up it starts causing pop-outs. Okay, we've got one down here that's not playing, there it goes, and we are done. B-Dog, I'm using 0.35s for this. Hey Americano SO, hey Dog, hey Ben Wilson. Alright, looks like we had a botch up. I don't know why those ones didn't stick. So what we'll do, that actually is kind of weird that they didn't stick. We'll just put the flippin' stencil back on. I've got a wayward one somewhere. There it is. Just looking for my knife. Where the bloody hell did I put my knife? Ah, there it is. I made a Tetris block, that I did. Yeah. There's a ruddy hair. There we go. All good. That is the only downside of using the lower temperature, I gotta say, is that you can end up with misses like that. That's actually quite interesting because it did look like they had all taken. Just going to touch it with a little bit of flux and then reheat it just to be sure. I can see that one there's jumped out and now it's re-established. Just give it a touch. Still got to get around to getting rid of the carpet out of this room, because carpet fibers, I mean cat hair is bad enough, but carpet fibers, they're usually too short to grab effectively. Yeah, so there's one down there. Okay, I'm just going to reheat these, make sure they've really rolled home, so to speak. Yeah, see, that's what I was meaning. Okay, so we had one that's turned into, well, two that have turned into one. Is that a Spice Girls song, isn't it? Two become one. Now, for these sort of unfortunate scenarios, I know some people will just go at it with the soldering iron tip, but that frequently results in a escalating war with the SMC. So what I do is I just use a bit of wick and take it away. Because I find you try to go in with the soldering iron tip and it frequently just jars onto another one and then you got more drama. Of course I'm about to create drama now. Okay, that's down. Trying to get some flux to go onto that. There we go. Alright, now we're good. Hey Nate, I certainly am. Now, since we have already put flux down on this board and we have flux on the SMC, we really do not need any more flux. We also do not need any hairs on there. Or rabbits. A little out of focus. I just need to double check. And that is the correct orientation. Red dot. Hey Jason, Thank you very much for the great compliment. Okay, now for reflowing these back onto the board, I still do about 270, but I drop the air right down to about 65, 70. Mostly because I don't want this thing catching wind under its sails and flying off. I will know when it drops because a fillet of flux will just appear around the outside. Like right now it's just a smear of flux. When it drops, it'll turn into a fillet. And of course the SMC will probably move. There's the move, and there's the fillet. Give it a few more seconds. That should be good. Hey Beer Blood, take care, be safe on the road. I almost wanted to touch it, creature. Well, they're all looking pretty good. Now, of course, before we forget everything, we've got to fix that diode up. And we've got to fix up the keyboard lines as well. Kind of hoping I don't have to replace the keyboard connector, but I might have to. It's a habit of hovering the tweezers over it, creature, that's what it is. Hard to fight that habit. What I actually find the worst, creature, is when that's actually going to need a bit more of a clean up, is when you actually place the chip on too accurately and you don't get that swing into location confirmation. It just sort of sits, and then you're like, is that reflowed yet? You know, has it done its job, or am I going to add more heat? Fortunately, that doesn't happen too often. Creature, you're never going to get alignment markers out of Apple anymore. Even when you add your own, it's not much use. Because you always draw them with a bit of an offset due to your hand angle. Oh, that was a terrible put down. That was as bad as me trying to debate at high school. Yeah, that connector, yeah, I'd say 50-50 that we're going to be able to keep that. Let's have a look. We'll give it a wash and see how it goes. I mean, the pins are fairly durable. I'm more worried about the pads underneath. Give it a bit of a flux and boil. So not trying to reflow it yet, but just want to get that flux to do some jazz. Geez, Travis is really savage today. Starting to think Travis is one of those people that just loves to feel pain for the feeling of being alive. So he goes out and he looks for pain. It's okay, the lockdown mechanism is fine. It didn't get melted. I'm going to give this a bit of a helping hand with some 250. It's very disinclined to take it. So I really don't want to have to replace this. It's not that they're strictly a difficult connector to replace, it's just more annoying as hell. Yeah, those two middle ones are being narcs. Let's go chisel. Get some more heat into that. Just being difficult. There we go, now we're getting some traction. It looks ugly right now, but it's okay. These things get beautiful afterwards. At least we're clearing off the trash that was building up on them. We're starting to see some proper solder down there. Damn thing's gonna force me to have to... You are forcing my hand. Don't make me get the fiberglass brush out. Yeah, more aggressive flux. I'll just get some hydrochloric acid and kill it with some zinc. That should fix it. AKA plumber's flux, for those who didn't know what I was referring to. Please don't ever use plumber's flux on your stuff. It has some disastrous effects on boards. Long after you've last looked at it, though. Yeah, I think the bloody pin's floating. Damn it! Jim, I actually don't know the answer to that. No, actually that's not floating, that's okay. That's secured. Yeah, unfortunately when it comes to those sort of technical fancy details, I really am pretty stupid about that. I don't know anything about them really. For me, Google is my friend, I'm sorry to say. I know it sounds really odd, but yeah, I generally do not retain that kind of information. Yay, they've come up good now. Yeah, you can see the solder is filleting nicely at the bottom now, so that's good. Paul, yeah, I've had one experience with plumber's flux, and that was when I ordered a few thousand cables from China, and I had to tin them myself, and I don't know what was on those wires, but they pretty much refused to take anything. So I tried some plumber's flux, and it did a spectacularly good job. But I gotta admit, I actually did not use them in production. Because no matter how... Oh, that's not even the right... Yes, it is. Okay, they're all good, yep. No matter how much you wash those cables, there will always be some remnant of the aggressive flux still in them. And it'll eventually eat out the inside of the cables or stuff like that. But it was a good example of how an aggressive flux can make a massive difference on how easy it is to put solder onto something. Because I was dip soldering at that point. Like I'd take a bundle of 100 cables and just dip the ends into a pot of solder. Yep, that looks pretty now. Leon, I have my own ticket software, unfortunately. I have considered a few times just uploading a copy of it, but it's so bad that people would make me cry. They'd make terrible comments about my software, and I'd be upset. So I've chosen not to release it. I mean, it does a reasonably okay job, and the nice thing I like about what I have written is that it's all in one little PHP file, and it uses a SQLite database, so it's very simple. But it has quirks about it, like for instance when I'm creating my labels, like these stickers and all that, it's all custom job stuff. And when you go to release even basic software out onto the internet, you kind of have to eliminate that hard-coded stuff. Okay, so here we go, fingers crossed. Yay, nothing. Where did you come from? Oh, nope. Okay, so we're still not there yet. It's trying. Damn it. Son of a gun. Well, the SMC had problems, but it doesn't look like it was the problem. Yet again, smoking gun was not found. Travis is definitely going for a punch in the head. Alright, time we actually start measuring stuff this. Alright. I just realised, clearly I do not work on these boards all that often because I'm sort of having to think where each thing is that I need. First thing we'll do is see if we've got 342, and then we'll go out from that. must be getting 342, I'm going to guess, because otherwise I wouldn't be trying to get started. But we'll double check this stuff. That's 5.5 volts, that's not 342. And this is why I get caught out. Uh, 3V42 PP bus. For some reason the 4924 just always throws me on this area. It would help too if I could find out where my schematic is. Ah, there it is. Schematics. Okay, U7090. That's right, because I keep looking for U6900, whatever it is. And that is on the bottom side. Yeah, that one there with that inductor. The top side is a red herring. .343. Oh, interesting. It takes a dive. Yeah, that's definitely taken a dive, so it's most likely we've got something shorted around here. So we're going to bring out the gym cam because I'm a lazy SOB. And lazy SOBs like to use things that can just go, the fault is there. Now, hopefully the gym cam doesn't, however, reveal a fault in Linux that makes the system shut down. Okay, so obviously this area here is where we were reheating stuff. That's okay. It doesn't have to be the hottest item on the board. We just have to see something going blip, blip, blip. See if anything jumps out. Okay, nothing really grabbing the attention of the camera on that side. How about this side? No, alright, we're going to have to bring in the thermal isolator system. And the thermal isolator system should help us locate things a little bit better. Might just move up a little bit. A lot. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh no, that's not it. Ah yeah, I just saw it. I think right about there. Which is a load of crap because that's the camera chip. That's a camera controller chip. You can definitely see it highlights up a little bit, but yeah, it just froze then for a second. That's also probably a red herring. But that's definitely What I think that is, it's a normal heat up area, but let's see, we'll just adjust the field. Yeah, it's around about the, I think. Let's see if I can, there we go, try and align that with that. Yeah, it seems to be coming out of that corner. There's a bit of warmth coming up here. I think that would probably be the ISL. And dog, no, I did not get the Bluetooth stack issue fixed. I don't know what is going on with that, but it's very annoying. Not really seeing anything jumping up on this side. Hey, Micromage. Nah, free spray is no good in my area, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, we're not really showing any build up of heat here. Nothing's really coming out. But yeah, freeze spray is the only good freeze sprays around here is for putting water on the boards, unfortunately. And we're popping up to 200 something milliamps when this happens. Put it in the freezer for a minute. Now you see that's more realistic, yeah. Alright. Let's have a look at that camera area, but I really don't think it's that. If you check the memory under the shield, it doesn't really feel like a memory fault. So this is the camera controller, but like I said, it almost always shows up as a heat source when the system is booting. It's just what it does, and it's not actually a fault. And it was not the ISL, by the way, that I was looking at. It was this chip. Oh yeah, it was. What the fuck's that? 958260 versus the 925. I'm going to check see what PP Bus is doing. Yeah, Creature, unfortunately that sort of work, and that's what I was trying to avoid, but I'm looking more and more likely I'm going to have to actually do work, which is very unfortunate. Alright, F7140. We'll check see what BP bus is on this. I mean, it may be the ISL. It could be that the ISL is damaged and that it's thinking there is more current flowing than what there is. That's the other thing we need to do is check the current sense resistor pairs and see that they are measuring reasonable values as well. Okay, so the SMC is up and running, and it definitely takes a dive. So it's pulling PP bus down, so it really is, yeah. So time to do a resistance run, and I'm gonna have another visual check. Hopefully it is actually a blown cap or something as opposed to an internal board short. I should look back around that SMC because that is where we had the corrosion, and so it would be a moderate assumption that there could be more damage around that area, given that we also had that diode that was damaged. I'll just check these pairs while I'm at it. Okay, so this pair here will either be 20 or 3. Okay, 3, 7, that's good. So this one should be 20s. Yep. Okay, so the current sense pairs are fine. I mean, it's not a guarantee. I should have actually probed right on the edge of the ISL. Just going to take this board for an edge view. Hey, Dadfix. Okay. Obviously the edge view gives us a chance to spot any corrosion that may have slipped under a chip or just sneaking on the side. It's not corrosion, it's a green part. Creature, that's where you got to get a board view. If you get a board view, then it'd be easy for you to say. Oh, there. Oh, look at that. That is not a commonly used connector, but that looks fuffed up. That's a diagnostic port. Wow, I'm surprised Lewis isn't here. Lewis's hair and ears are going to be burning on him right now, because he'll be thinking, look, see, these diagnostic ports are trouble. We'll give it a respectful death. You absolutely loathe and detest diagnostic ports. And he goes all out on them. Personally, I'm happy to just remove them normally. It gives me a chance to practice not melting the connector, but getting it off the board. Ah, they came off nice and clean. No abuse required. Politely asked it to step aside, and it did. Just cooling off the board. Hey, Gavin Brown. Yeah, I've been keeping pretty busy, that's why I haven't had much of a chance to stream. My workload is such that I need to get a lot of jobs done each day. But this one here, I thought I'd give it a chance. Hey, Solaris. DeAndre had a 165 board yesterday. The whole thing was pristine, but the diagnostic connector was pulling SMC reset down. Huh. You get something like that. Pristine boards are the scariest. Yeah, Miles, it's a good problem to have until you start dropping the ball too much, and then people who otherwise tolerate and understand start to not tolerate and you know, yes, there we go. It was a diagnostic port, was the actual smoking gun there. That SMC definitely had to go as well. Wayne's, well, at least that's one way you're going to learn, isn't it? That horrible feeling when you're out of your depth, you got to get used to it, unfortunately. And you learn to just dig. And we got a green blinky blink, so we are actually alive and well. Thank you very much. And that is the end of the stream pretty much for me, because it's past midnight and I haven't even had my 7 days to die treatment tonight. Still say there's crud next to the 402. It'll probably come off in that case in the ultrasonic, because this will definitely be going for an ultrasonic. Anytime I sort of get to the level where I've got that much flux floating around, or I've done an SMC replacement, it pretty much has to go in for a, what do you call it, a reflow. Not a reflow, a cleanup. And let's see, I need to just put some stuff into the baggies. It was a little bit protracted from what I would have liked to have had, but I'm glad that it is working at least, and I'm glad it wasn't just a completely stupid simple job. Although, I mean, yeah, obviously during the day I prefer that. Is that the connector or is that something else? Ah, that's something else. I'm just going to get my bag of bags. Box of bags. People wondering, you know, how many jobs I go through. Well, that's just this month so far. So basically what happens is, you know, for every job that gets done, the parts that get taken off the board, they get put into a little baggie along with the sticker. And well, actually this one has to wait for me to finish with that sticker there. And then, yeah, then I archive those. And so if anyone ever comes back at me and sort of says, you know, what parts did you take off, what did you replace and all that, then at least I can go, yeah, I took those parts off and there you go, that's fixed or not fixed. Alright, I'm out of here. You take care. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Could be tomorrow, could be next week. You just have to wait and see. Take care. Thanks a lot again.